Hi guys, it's Tim with InflatableOffice and EventOffice, and I want to show you a new thing that we just released with tipping. So tipping is pretty simple concept, and a lot of people have done it, and we've had it for a long time. In fact, we just made it easier to enable tipping on multiple areas of the checkout process, and you can find my video on that if you search for it. Um, that was the one I released just a few weeks ago. But we are going a little further with tipping today. We're going to show you how to do something really cool because you're in the event industry and there's a lot of patrons that are going to be around. We came up with a way to allow for the patrons to tip. Now, of course, your customer can still tip this way as well. There's nothing preventing them from doing that, and they may. But we've just taken it a step further, which we like to do. So I want to show you here how it works. So one of the ideas with how we were doing this is we wanted to focus on speed and ease of use. So when people are trying to tip you, they don't have to go to a long URL. We don't want them to have to do that. We also we don't want them to have to enter in their credit card or anything like that. So we want to make it very quick and very easy for them. So what we've done is we've taken QR codes and we're using QR codes to do to get them to the right place to do the tipping. And then from there, we're doing Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. Now, most of those people will have those set up, at least one of those set up on their phones. So it'll be easy for them to scan the URL, scan the QR code, go to the URL, and then pick which way they want to proceed with the tip. So the other thing that this does is it takes it out of your hands as an employer. You don't have the money passing through you at all, so you don't have to account for it. It goes directly to the worker or potentially your company PayPal, Venmo, Cash App account. So let me show you a little bit how to set it up, and then we'll show you how it works. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here is we're going to go to our general preferences, and not general preferences, our payment preferences, and I've in this tips area right over here, and I've set up some of this already. So we're going to enable it for employee tips. We're going to put in this would be whatever your Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal information would be. I'm just putting in demo here just as a test, just to get it to work here. And we went over this a little bit last time, but this is how I get our tipping stuff to show on two different areas of the checkout. We're not going to mess with that today. We do use these 5, 10, and 15 for, I think it's used for both the checkout and for our employee tipping, but we'll have a look real quick here. Some of this with Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal, some of it they don't let us pass over an amount. So all you can do is get to that tip screen, and then the customer or the user can type in whatever amount they want to do. So in some cases, we're not able to really suggest an amount. So, but anyway, once all of this is set up, the next thing to do is go to your pages and templates, and I'm going to show you how to find and turn on all of these tip templates. None of these will be active for you, so first thing you're going to do is select the inactive preset filter, and then we're going to type in tip up here, and that's going to show us all of the ones that we need to deal with today. So we have 3 different areas here. We have company, employee, and lead tipping. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these on. One of the things you're going to notice here as I come here to make this active is we have a QR code right here. If I click that, there's the QR code for the company tip. That is something that you would potentially display on a truck, or maybe your paperwork, or maybe even your t-shirts when you have it printed. And maybe you put something like, hey, if we did a good job, tip us here, or something like that. So anyway, I'm going to turn that one on. And the next one would be the lead tip. So a company tip is going to go to your company account most likely. The lead tip is going to show the company account as well as all of your employees that happen to be related to that lead. Now that's people who are working shifts as well as people who are also the sales rep and stuff like that. So I'm going to make this one active. We don't have a QR code direct to this one listed here. I'll see if we can get that put in there. But we do have a way through our variables. So if we look at our variables here, I'll just show you that real quick. We look up tip. So we have the worker ones, the sales rep information, there's company stuff down here, and lead as well. So if you're using it as for a lead, you're probably gonna, and this is probably the reason why we didn't put it there, is you're probably not going to print that one necessarily going to use a variable in one of your templates, and that QR code is going to then show up on that paperwork. Maybe you would put it on your packing list, so that shows up in, or maybe maybe it goes on the contract or something. So whatever you're going to give the customer that day that you arrive, they'll have that there. And maybe you print an additional document that has that says, if we did a great job, use this to tip us. So we have the variables to make that work. So anyway, let me not get ahead of myself here. So here, this one is, I'm going to go ahead and turn this one on as well. All I have to do is click these and make them active. Again, I'll do the same thing here. For the employee tip, this is worker related, so we can't put a QR code here. And that's probably why we didn't do it the lead one either, because we don't know what ID you're using right there. So I'm going to go ahead and save this one as well. Now, if I'm dealing with workers, I can get to that QR code, I believe, by looking right here at the worker. Sure enough, I've got a QR code option right here. That's the worker QR code. Um, so I'm going to move forward here and show you what happens when they go to these different pages. So this is the company tip page, and you can see it's just a template. This is editable to some degree. Some of this stuff you probably don't want to mess around with this. You might break it. But we just put in some different information about your company. We pull it from your profile, put your logo in on top, and it makes it real easy for the person to go ahead and click there and check out in their favorite platform and give you a tip. So um, the other one here is the lead one. So this is one that you would, like I said, would put on maybe paperwork they're going to give to the person who's running the event. In this case, we only have one employee set up to show on this. Let me double check that. I thought I had set up more. I guess not. I just set up one employee there. So we can click to that employee and do the tip there. That will take us to the employee tip page, or we can click to the company, and that takes us back here to the company page. So if we click to the employee, we get this screen here, and this is for the employee. So if we look back here at the employee, for all of your employees, you would want to ask them what they want in these values, and you could set these up for them so that they could receive tips. Now, an employee, maybe they would have a business card and they would print their QR code on that business card. Maybe they want to have a shirt that's just their shirt that no one else wears, that they make, and they put that on there if you allow that. So again, the QR code can be very useful. An employee that works really hard and does a really good job would then get rewarded by tips from people, different patrons at the event. Let's say they were helping little Johnny through the obstacle course, and he just had a great experience, and Grandpa saw it and decided he would just use his smartphone to tip. Hopefully he's technology savvy and can do that. So, but I think that what you're going to see by using these is you're going to see a lot more tips coming in from your patrons. You're going to see your employees getting rewarded a lot more. It's very popular right now to tip. It's also not convenient to use cash. So by letting you do this, it's going to be a great thing for you. So the other thing here that I wanted to show you is with the company tip page. When your company tip page is scanned, we're going to actually do a geolocation on that, and we're going to say if that person scanning that is close to an event that's going on, we're going to take them right to that lead page. So we assume that's where they want to go. If they're not, so those come right here. If they're not close to one, then we don't. If there's a few that are close to them, we'll give them an option to choose which one they're trying to get to. And I think what we do is present like the street name on there, so we don't give too much information away about what's going on at that party. But then they can choose that and then kind of work their way through this tipping process if they want to tip the company as a whole, or if they want to go ahead and pick a person or tip each person differently. So they can do that. I think that's pretty much it here. We do have new syntax for doing a loop. So in these templates, we do have some new syntax for that. So it's probably not too exciting for you, but if you get into that, I'll show you real quick what that's going to look like. Let me find one of them here. I think it's in the employee one where we have a new loop syntax. If I can find it. I spelled it wrong. Well, I'm not finding it here, but we do have some new syntax for doing those loops. If you're curious about that, I'm in the wrong page. I'm in the wrong one here. If you're curious about that, we can definitely help you find it. It must be in this one right here. This would make more sense. If you're curious about it, oh, right here it is. So loop equals worker. So that's the new syntax. So it's going to cause anything inside of this element to be repeated for the number of workers that we're trying to repeat for. So there's that new syntax. One last thing I wanted to show you all, if you stuck around through that difficult spot right there, is our QR code generator. And let's hope I can find that. We did make a QR code generator for you. Here it is. We figured, why not? It's easy to do. Some people think it's a big deal. There's a million free ones out there you can choose, but if you don't want to, you can do one just with us. QR codes are just text. So you see some of the other generators will say stuff like, well, if you want it to be a URL, if you want it to be a text, or if you want it to be XYZ, then choose these. Well, it's all the same. You paste the text in. So if it's a URL, you just paste the URL in. And just for kicks here, we'll just grab this, paste it in, and see what we got here. So we're going to do it on the fly. So you can copy to the clipboard the QR code. You can choose if you want PNG or an SVG. SVG is vector format, which means you can enlarge and shrink it to whatever size you want without losing quality. We also give you the ability to kind of scale it here if that's easier for you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed some of the new improvements here with the tipping. Go out there and make lots of money for your company and for your employees and have a good time. Get used to using QR codes. We're going to be doing a lot more with those. Thanks, guys.